What's up, everybody? It's Jeffrey Lyles. You are listening to Lyles Movie Files. We have another exciting, crazy, action-packed episode this week. I am actually excited about the Arrowverse once again. I don't feel like I've been this excited since season 5 of Arrow. So this has been a great moment and a great time to be an Arrowverse fan as we close to the end of everything with Crisis on Infinite Earth, which we will definitely be talking about. We are also going to break down the latest few episodes of The Walking Dead, Arrow, Flash, and talking about some cast additions possible for Matrix 4, who's out of Matt Reeves' The Batman film, who's in, and we're going to do a best and worst of Jennifer Aniston. So welcome, would you please, my co-host for tonight's show, little brother Jayce. How you doing?
Hey, how you doing? Hey, how you doing? Hey, how's it going? We're ready to get another good day of podcasting. We're gonna try and make you guys laugh and make your commute or just your work day a little better tomorrow. So we'll get on that. All right. Yeah. Okay, yeah, I'm good.
Okay. Yeah, I was making sure you weren't pulling anything out when you were doing that last little bit there. Mm-hmm. Jay King, how are you, man?
I'm doing great. We need to get Jason the Radio One or iHeart Radio Studios so he can get his own show, because that was quite the introduction you had there, man. I'm feeling it. I love that.
You love the energy?
Yeah, man. I love your energy, Jayce. Thanks, you man. Always bring the energy. The energy's always high. Dude, thank y'all for another one, man. Let's give people what they need, what they want. Also, go Nats! Go Nats! Yes. Go Mystics!
Hey, I feel like I need to give you a shout out because you accurately called maybe like a year, maybe less than a year ago, that you were saying the Nats do not need Bryce Harper. You were happy to send him packing, and Jovon, you were 100% correct. For the first time in Nationals history, they are going to the World Series. Mm-hmm. And it is crazy living in this world of DC sports where the Capitals have won a Stanley Cup, the Mystics have won a Stanley Cup, the Nationals stand poised to possibly join them. I mean, can you imagine in this 5-year span of time, Washington is becoming a hub of sports again?
Well, okay, Jeff, it feels like...
Did I go too far?
Yes, you did. Well, no. Wait, Jayce. No, hear him out. Go ahead. I feel this way. We're starting to understand what cities like Boston, Chicago in the 90s, and even in this last 2 decades, Los Angeles, these cities that win title, New York, these cities sports cities that have the 4 major sports franchises, 5 majors in their cities who win, and it feels good. We're no longer just dogs. For a long time, DC Sports was just the football team and the Bullets.
And the Boulets.
Yeah, and that was it. And Les Boulets and the Caps, and they were all losers at one point in time.
The Skins were it. Like for the 80s and 90s. The
Skins were it. Yeah.
We had that illusion time. We had that illusion time of prosperity with Sweet Cal, Chris Webber, Juwan Howard, thinking that era was going to do something. And then we got teased again with the Arenas, Jameson, and Butler era. Yeah.
Now the Wall era. We always tease, but we're now poised. We're poised to have 3 recent champions in DC, and it feels pretty crazy. Weird. It's weird. We're not used to this.
But it's not going to be weird? Watching my Niners destroy the Redskins this Sunday. I can't wait. Oh, man. Kyle Shanahan is going to be so pissed. He's going to get him. Oh,
I want to make Bruticus Destroy shirts with the Niners as Bruticus, because they are going to tear apart the Redskins. I'm serious, and I want that to happen.
Wait a minute. Now, I've seen the Niners play a couple times, and they'll decide, hey, we don't need to actually play until the second half, so let's turn over the bar just to make sure we can have a competitive game. And
that was one game, sir.
Well, that's the thing, Jayce. You got to create those turnovers, and the Skins don't do a good job of doing that. They don't
And,
create turnovers.
do you think they would catch interceptions or fall on a fumble? No, sir.
At all.
Man, you'd have to
At
literally
all.
hand them the ball. Like, do you want it?
Here,
I
take
don't know.
this.
Wait.
Let me
Does
tell
that
you
mean the
something.
offense has to get the ball? Yeah. Oh shoot. Oh,
Josh Gordon is sadly still their best player in the secondary. No, although I can't remember
Josh
the other guy
Norman.
on the other side. Josh Norman, the other guy on the other side of him, the other corner. I can't remember his name. He's playing better than Josh. But Josh always looked like he's standing in the median watching cars go by. Like guys are burning him by a car length out there. That's not funny. What do you think is going to
It's
happen
not
this
pretty
Sunday?
when a cornerback starts to lose their speed, though. And it's
Oh,
just,
no.
it happens so quick where all of a sudden it's like, wow, how'd they become toast?
Yeah.
Just like that.
Man, think about Revis. Revis was a shutdown cornerback until he was not.
Until he was not.
I mean,
we
but
can go down a list of them,
like,
dude.
what's it,
Andy Asamoah.
What's his name? Rod. Not Harrison, but
Who's that?
dude for the Steelers.
Oh, Woodson.
Yeah, Rod Woodson. But they were smart enough to say, hey, you're not
Safety.
It's like Josh Norman is like, hey, you see him getting burned every week. It's like, yeah, it's time to switch position and try and find
I don't think he has good instincts to be a safety either, though.
He's his own player.
Burned through the good safety years he had on deck to get to become a mediocre corner.
Yeah.
Because Ronnie Lott switched over to safety, and that was where everybody remembers him being this awesome player. But he was a really good cornerback first. And Norman is just settled into being a mediocre corner and doing his signature move of raising his arms like, hey, where were you?
Well, you know what those guys had that he doesn't? The ability to play in the zone. The ability to cover a zone. He does not have that ability.
In
He's
fairness,
a feast of famine.
It's hard for anybody to play corner or defense in this league because if you sneeze on anybody, it's a flag.
Yeah.
You need elite speed to be a cornerback to have a chance. And once you lose that, you're done.
Yeah, exactly.
Instincts. Yeah, those instincts lead way to that. That speed leads way to your instincts too. Because without the speed, you can try to jump the pass every time. You're gonna get burned. You're gonna give up yards.
Yeah. Anyway, so that's enough about Josh Norman and the inferior Washington Redskins. Who? Oh my gosh, I can't wait. The last time I saw the Skins play the Niners was on a Monday Night Football, and we demolished them and got like 5. I think Aldon Smith had 5 sacks. This is still in the salad days of the Harbaugh era, where we legitimately had aspirations of winning the Super Bowl every year. What was your question?
I got one last thing about that. Not the Skins, but let me ask you fellas this, and everybody out there. If they were casting put it to you this way. The Nats, this 2019 Nats team, are real life Major League. Is the movie coming? If they win the World Series, you got to make the movie. At least 5 players will write books from this team, but they got to make the movie. Come on. The whole season's played out like a bad sports movie, like one of these corny, cheesy sports movies. They have to.
This is Major League. Like, I mean, like you said.
Oh yeah.
This is really Major League. Like, they're struggling. Looks like everything's going down. Next thing you know, they're in the World Series. Now, I gotta say, there's one real easy thing to show that, hey, all these other sports teams have had, are trying to make moves to be better. Except the Washington Redskins. They're like, we'll give you an inferior product and you'll take it. And
I will take those cheap tickets this week.
I'm sure you will. And chances are, the funny thing is you're going to have those tickets a year, but like, sir, what are you doing up here? Well, I'm in the 200s. Sir, we need you in the 100s. Come on, man. Move it down.
Please, wear your Niners jersey downstairs so it looks like.
Hey, we need to sell this. Remember how
they don't doing wrestling. Like, wrestling's like, hey, everybody come over to this side, the hard camera side. They're like, we'll happily have people scattered up in the high parts of the seats. And it's just like, listen, that's a terrible TV product. All you have to do is move everybody down and go like, hey, the sun is too glaring for everybody. Not these guys. Okay, let's move on. From one dead thing to another, The Walking Dead has been, to me, has kept this high level of quality since Angela Kang took over as a showrunner. And every chance I get to hype her up and talk about what an amazing job she has done, I will do, because this show was heading down a rotted, terrible direction. She came in and was like, "Hey, look, I can actually make The Walking Dead good." And everybody was like, "Please, we would like to know more." And bam, we've got the show that's amazing again. So this week we saw the origins of Alpha and Beta, or as I like to call this episode, when Alpha met Beta. And it was creepy, it was weird, it was everything that I wanted in a Whisperer's origin episode to be. Alpha is nutty and loony, and Beta is intense, creepy guy you do not want sitting next to you on the metro, the subway, behind you at the grocery store lane. He's all of those unnerving, unsettling things. And the best thing this series is doing so far is playing up exactly how intimidating and scarily creepy this guy is. What you guys think of this episode? Jayce, let's start with you.
Yeah, I didn't see it.
You suck.
I don't
Jovon.
wanna- I
On
know.
Sunday? You were working on a Sunday? Anyway.
I was in New York. I didn't see it. I didn't have live TV.
So you weren't. So you were working in New York. Okay, my fault. I'm sorry. Jovon King. Jovon.
I don't deserve all this.
Yes.
I'm going on strike too.
Let me just fast forward. Jovon, what did you think of this episode?
Again, I got to piggyback your thoughts on the lovely Angela Kang. She resurrected The Walking Dead. She saved it. Scott Gimple was determined to power drive this show through the mat and leave it writhing in pain. She brought it back. And I think so much so that even though Lauren Conrad's show, Whiskey Cavalier, was canceled on ABC, she could have went on to something else. You know, she could have just licked her wounds and said, "Hey, I'm done with The Walking Dead." I think it's not that she wanted to just come back because, hey, needs a job. You know, she's still in demand. She can go act wherever she wants. Mm-hmm. She wanted to come back to this show because of the direction it's heading in. They got some stuff planned, and it's actually getting fun to watch again. I love this past episode. It's the origin story you want. Like, I can't wait for the Negan origin story because we're going to get it. Right? We got to know what makes Negan Negan. My only complaint, this was a great episode because, like you said, it gave us the backstory. It gave us what makes these creepy people that we can't stand, our new baddies. It gave us the insight into who they are, what makes them. But the difference between, let's say, a tortured figure like the governor, who I love the governor. We never got a real origin story. We got the governor's fall from grace after he left his community, right?
Right.
And then his kind of transformation, but we saw that same old governor come back. But what we got to see in him was a human. He's still he's a man of character. He still has a character, but he's a broken man. He's power hungry. He wanted to be the man in charge. He couldn't stand to see. And when I'm not going to go overboard to the governor, because he's one of my favorite characters of the series. But they did. I'm saying that to say this. They took a similar route in telling their story that they took with the governor. They tried to let you know who these people were and how they became what they've become, right? Mm-hmm. And you have to appreciate that. And it was great storytelling. It was great storytelling. It was a great episode. Probably go down as one of the, if you're doing a top 20 Walking Dead at this point, with 10 seasons in, this is going to make that top 20.
Yeah, and to further what you were saying, what's really cool is how they didn't do anything in that episode to make you feel sympathetic toward Alpha or Beta. It was like, these jokers are crazy and nuts, and we need them to get killed. I think maybe with the governor, he was so nuanced where it was like, well, is he really that bad? And there's some level of humanity in him. With these guys, it's like they're crazy.
It's gone. They're nuts.
Negan had this kind of sensibility of like, I'll make an example out of people, but they need a tough guy to be in charge and keep them in line because they're going to screw up without a guy like me.
Jeff, my thing with Negan, I love Jeffrey Dean Morgan. I think he's a great actor. He just puts he's the guy you want to have a beer with, no matter what he's playing in. He's the guy you want to have a drink with, right? I think they're wasting him, but right now, But it's a slow burn. It's a slow burn. Negan's going to be the new Rick. But they have to let you. I think it's very smart what they're doing, but he's going to end up being the new Rick, in my opinion, because he's going to have to be the guy that steps in. It ain't going to be. You're not going to care enough about Ross Marquand. I can't remember. I can never remember his character.
I really like how they've done Aaron, though.
I love Aaron, man. I like how they've done Aaron, but he's not the guy.
Such a much better job with him, where he's not just, I don't know, like the token gay dude who just happens to be there because he's gay.
Yeah. Or just Mr. Nice Guy.
Right. And it's just like he is a vital member of this community. He's a leader. He's taking an active role. And he's just not some background guy to check off some diversity box for them.
Exactly.
And he's such a good character. And I think they've got so much potential with him. And you know, we've already seen what they've done with Carol and Daryl, of course. Mm-hmm. But Angela's made characters like Aaron, Gabriel, and even Eugene much better. And Rosita, much better.
She's breathed new life into these characters that were just background characters.
Background dudes who was like, maybe they get killed this episode. But now it's like, I don't want them to get killed.
You don't. The investment is there now, and that's the thing about it. I understand in the previous 2 seasons with folks like Aaron and Rosita and Eugene who have made it, you know, what I thought was further than they should have, or they've extended their expiration date on the show. Right. But I think they're benefiting from another thing. Most of that cast that we've grown to know and love is gone. Mm. Rick. Carl, Abraham, Glenn, Maggie, for what it's worth right now, she ain't around, most of this cast that we've grown to know and love they're gone. There's so many little nuances and characters that are getting more camera time, and we're starting to be invested in them, and they're good, well-rounded characters like Jerry. I love Jerry, man. I love when Jerry's on the screen because he's still loyal to Ezekiel, and Ezekiel's like, look, dude, I'm just one of the guys now. I love that.
It's like, nah, dude, you're still the king. I got you.
You're still the king. You're still my man.
I'm gonna hype you up.
I love that kind of stuff. Yeah, I love that. And they've done such a great job of resurrecting this show. I just, like I said, my only complaint right now is we need more Jeffrey Dean Morgan. I think it's coming because Jeffrey Dean Morgan's going to be the new. He not the badass, but he's going to be the new anti-hero. I think Jeffrey Dean Morgan's going to be Wolverine. When we finally get a chance to see him kick some ass, it's going to be so rewarding because his story arc is like nothing we've seen in this show or in any other show that we may have watched on TV.
Remember how Daryl was first introduced? I mean, he was Merle's like little henchman, and then he kind of like, all right, that's not who you really are. You're better than that.
Right.
So Negan's isn't like that. I mean, his is more like that on steroids. But
yeah, sorry.
Okay.
Go ahead, Jayce.
Yeah, I think it's just like it's one of those. You see, it's like because of how brutal that world is. It's like you have to you can't play black and white almost. It's like. You need almost your leader to kind of be a whole lot more gray than what they had been doing. I mean, even with Rick, it's like Rick wasn't afraid to get dirty, but it's like, nah, you need to be a little more stay in the gray, not almost kind of black and white and then, switch and flip the switch when need be. It's like, you got to make people kind of, hey, we got a good community here. But if you guys kind of try and come at us, we're not even going to ask you if you're coming in. You better bring something or we're going to kill you.
It's funny you mentioned that because Rick was a man apart in many ways. He endured a hell of a lot, right? And I think something that always sat with Rick, even from the second season, is whether or not Judith is his, losing his wife. All these things piled up on Rick, but yet
having to kill his best friend.
Having to kill his best friend, let's not forget that. Having to exile Carol, then having Carol come back to save your ass, all of these things. And Rick went through these in and out phases, whereas with Negan, and like you said, Jayce, our introduction to Negan was as brutal as they come. You were meant and made to hate this man. Like you were meant and made to hate him. But even during the course of the 2 seasons until his defeat, you still didn't. You understood him a little more, but you still didn't, or the show didn't want you to like him yet as a person.
But no, they actually did though. That was, I think that was he was so charismatic. Like even when he's like talking to Carl, it's like you're not the dude we should. I mean, you knew it was like there's something deeper to this dude. He shouldn't have any use for Carl. He should just be like, you're a pawn in this game. I just need to break your community. I need to break your dad, and it's over. But it was always like, yeah, there's something to it.
They portrayed those moments, but it wasn't enough for you to be really invested in him, like to say, yeah, unless you're like one of these people like me who sometimes likes the bad guy. You hated Negan still. You still wanted Negan to get his comeuppance because of what he did to your favorite characters, because of the brutality of his regime, him burning faces off with the iron. These are brutal things. These are very brutal things that he did. It's not until you've seen him, put in a prisoner's place and be dehumanized to humanized, that you start to feel like, okay, maybe I'm ready to embrace him. When he saves Judith, when he goes against it all to save Judith, you start to say, okay, I'm starting to like this guy more and more. We're getting to know him. I think what they may end up doing, and what will be smart in my opinion, is before you throw him out there as, he's a warrior against the forces of evil that are the Whisperers, if you give us the backstory, that what made Negan, show him with his wife, in her dying days,
Lucille, yeah.
show him and then you show him kicking ass on the side of good with your favorite characters. That would be so rewarding, and that would really be great for the show, in my opinion.
Okay.
Oh, but they needed to have villains like the Whisperers to make you be like, okay, we can at least root for Negan to kill these guys because they're way worse than Negan bashing dudes' heads in. I mean, they were taking heads of people that we liked and sticking them on a pipe. So
and
that
keeping them alive,
escalation,
not even like just killing them, like literally having them so they were still talking and just being people you would actually come to care about. It's like, oh shoot,
right?
Oh yeah, and let's not forget, in all of this, Rick and company drew first blood.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I thought that was done so well because it was like, oh, this isn't good, Rick. This is not a good move. And that payoff for it was like, oh, shoot. This is what happens when you come to the gunfight and they've got missiles.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, hey, I killed Negan. Did you really?
Nah,
because everybody said they were Negan.
Yeah, it was.
Did you worry about that a little bit?
That was one of the more ominous-filled moments of dread I've had in watching a TV show where it's like, this is not good. And they kept running into roadblock after roadblock where the saber was just like,
oh, you know
where you going
coming
now? Yeah, it's like, oh, this is not going to be good.
No,
and then it was worse than you imagine.
When they actually when they thought they were actually, killing Negan in this one silo.
I know what you're saying. Yeah. And afterwards, when it's like, hey, we got to get Maggie out of here because she's pregnant. Oh, these guys are all over the road and they're not moving.
Yeah.
All right, let's find.
Now you got to deal with us.
Yeah.
So, and then they chained up a bunch of walkers to make it so you're not going through this place. We thought of every escape route. You were boxed in, and you should be afraid.
It was all bad for him. That was good stuff. That's making me want to go back and watch that stuff over again.
I know.
All right, let's move on here. All right, Jovon, you're gonna take a time out while we talk about Arrow and Flash. This is gonna be quick. So,
okay.
But man, I called Jayce yesterday, and I was just like, oh my gosh, the Flash and the Arrow are both good at the same time. I don't feel like this happened since the first half of Arrow season 3 and Flash season 1, or was it season 2? Because it had to be season 1 of Flash.
Yeah.
It's been so good, though, because they're focusing on building towards Crisis on Infinite Earths. I know when we've talked about this in the past, I've been like, man, I wish this was like a 2-week thing because Crisis is so big and so sprawling an event that they can't really do it justice. Even with an episode on each show, 5 hours isn't enough. And the writers agreed with me. They were like, no, it is absolutely not enough. And just in these first 2 weeks of Flash, the first week of Arrow, we got Crisis Overload. It was like, oh shoot, yeah. So Barry's trying to figure out how to stay alive and not see this monitor prophecy that he has to die come to pass. Oliver is actively going through the multiverse looking for objects to help stop the anti-monitor. And we've got white waves of antimatter destroying, killing worlds just like in the comic. It was crazy. I was like, oh man, they're actually delivering what we saw in the comic book. That was so shocking, where people, superpowered heroes and villains, getting wiped out in this white wave of death. And on Arrow, it was really cool because in this alternate Earth, it was Adrian Chase who was Green Arrow, or the Hood, because it was like Oliver had never left the island, or it had been 12 years since Oliver got off the island. He even may have fought Bruce Wayne at some point on this island. It was crazy. We saw Mora, we saw Malcolm, and in this world, Thea died because Oliver didn't come back soon enough, because that was the storyline from season 1. And Tommy just took it so terrible that he was the one that was the Dark Archer. There's so many callbacks to season 1. It was really fun, just seeing how everything played out. Like, it was, hey, Oliver Queen, this is your wonderful life, and this is what would have happened if you weren't around. And we've seen that in so many different TV shows, but with Arrow, it really sunk in how much things changed and how much things could have been different with Oliver not leaving the island until a decade and change later. And this was apparently Earth 2, Jayce. And
yeah, because it was because remember, Black Siren went to her Earth, and now she's a hero.
So the question is, did Harry Wells and Jesse Quick die when Earth 2 got wiped out?
Well, because Harrison Wells wasn't smart enough to figure it out, and if Jesse Quick was,
she's a speedster, so she could have gone to another world.
Well, she's a speedster, but she wouldn't have left her dad, and she had her own little splash team in Earth 2. But if you, what's that show? If God friended me, she might have had some time to quietly run a cameo real quick.
Run a cameo, I like that.
Yeah. I do try. Yeah.
So what are you thinking about what we got so far with Arrow and Flash?
You know how I just listened to the last podcast where I said, yeah, I don't know if I'm watching this Arrow thing. If it's on my DVR, I'll pick it up. Whatever. Yesterday I came home from work. I had Flash kind of like on the little delay, so I was like, oh okay, oh wow, we're really going into this crossover. Like you see Barry, like all of Barry's family and friends, and I like the fact they also had Vibe. I mean, Cisco is back as Vibe. 2, you saw all of them die, and then last thing you saw is Iris go, and then he wakes up like freaking out, like, oh shoot, everybody I love is going to die, just like the monitor told me. So I mean, and I like how Iris is like, nah, we're not letting that happen. But it's like, it just might. I mean, you really don't know. It's like they really could get rid of all of Team Flash and just have Flash at the end. I mean, which would be kind of crazy, but it was like they could do that. I mean, there is a possibility. But then when I watched Arrow, I was just like, wait, this is good. What happened? It was just like, I mean, like just when you first start, when you see the Batman hood and Liam, you're just like, that wasn't Slade's hood.
Right. It was like, wait a second, what was that?
And when you did the picture of it, I was like, I thought that was Batman's hood, but that was Batman's hood. It was just like, oh shoot. I mean, and then it's like, and like you were saying about the callback, it's like one of the first 3 or 4 episodes of Arrow was Thea having vertigo. And it's just like, all it took is like a couple days. I mean, like him not being there 5 years ago. It's done. She's out of there.
Yeah.
It's like, oh wow. Like, and then just like seeing like more like Walter's not there because Thea's not there.
Right. It was so cool just seeing how like just a few things could change everything up for him. Yeah, and like even the future storyline wasn't terrible.
Now
I was like, okay.
again, and I know we said this, but the reason this episode was so much better was it focused on the main hero. It was like even the flashback was like, okay, y'all are at least fighting and doing stuff. You're not like asking where's Felicity, like the hunt for Felicity. I mean, it didn't work out for Force Awakening trying to find a lost hero. It didn't work out for the future storyline last time. But this one was like, hey, we're setting up a new team. We're gonna do our thing. Like, okay, I don't mind you right now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, but then again, you went right back to Oliver stuff. It's like, oh, we found a smart way to bring Diggle in this. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like, so that's one thing I don't have to worry about. Like, oh, we're just gonna get rid of Diggle? No, we got a plan. Don't worry. I mean, now to me, it's one of those things. Even going back to last year's crossover Elseworld, where Earth 93 Flash says, "Hey, John, why don't you have your ring?" It's like, oh, maybe. I mean, even having like the little green in his outfit, it's like
you notice the green stripe on his jacket
visor.
too.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, it might be laying some groundwork.
Stop playing, y'all. Yeah, like let's do it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's like in last season where it's like, oh yeah, that's my stepfather Diggle. I mean, Stewart. It's like,
yeah, right.
Just little things like, hey, we're really are. We have an idea. It's just we had 22 episodes to waste and give everybody else a paycheck, and then we'll get you a good storyline. Which probably seems like that was the case. But
yeah.
this, I mean, just like Jeff said, it was a very cool episode. There's some really good callbacks. But then when you saw that, like, just, hey, we're under attack. What do you mean? And then you saw this red wave, and then you saw the white behind you, like, oh, wait a minute. Are y'all really about to go crisis on us? And then you just saw people just dying in the dust. It's like, I know if for anybody who was, I mean, this is like the early 80s, like when Crisis first came out. That was like kind of one of my first comic books that I remember reading. It was like, you saw like there was a 3 Supermans from the Justice Society. There was a Superboy with the Legion of Superheroes, and it was actually kind of confusing. But then
it was so confusing that when I got Crisis #1, I spent time coloring Earth 2 Superman's temples because I thought they messed up and made Superman an old guy. I was like, well, what is wrong with this? So I colored in the white temples and made them black because that's what Superman looked like. I didn't realize that's not Superman that I'm familiar with from Super Friends. And yeah, but really, for anybody out there who's not read Crisis on Infinite Earths, it is one of the best main comic book storylines ever. It's not an alternate take like Watchmen or some Dark Knight Returns. It happens in continuity and it affects people and has real repercussions on the DC universe. And in the 12 universe, in those 12 issues, it tells a story that even if you're not familiar with anything going into it, by the 12th issue, by the 7th issue, you are sucked all the way in and just ready to go wherever they take you on this storyline. So read it. It's on the DC Universe app. They've got the entire 12 issues and every single crossover tie-in associated with Crisis. So check that out. Jayce, there's also a couple rumors I read. The Titans may be showing up in this thing now. Justin Hartley may have found some time to shoot a cameo. All kinds of craziness. So this can't get any bigger, but yeah, it's looking amazing.
Well, honestly, I think anybody who's associated with it, it's like it is easiest. I mean, it's the easy way to fold the DC TV universe into one because it's. As much as they might talk about like we like multiverses on this, it's like for your common fan, it's hard to understand. It's like you want to do that in your comic book, it's one thing, but it's like when you don't have one universe in your actual TV properties, it's so confusing. Like
right.
But now it's like if you fold in Titans, because not even spoiling anything. It's like if you could just put all those people just a cameo and then play out everything else exactly how you want it to, it works perfectly because there's nothing that stops it from being the case. It's like Titans has their own nothing that Titans has done crosses over with Arrow or Flash. But you put him in a new timeline, all of it works perfectly.
Yeah.
Now,
But Jayce, I don't know if you saw today, but they've cast somebody to play Jim Corrigan, who is the Spectre.
I just read that on LylesMovieFile.com.
Great. So it's going to be huge. Anyway. So, yeah.
Well, I mean, just like after I didn't have a chance to. Tom, did you like the new design of the monitor? Because I haven't liked it.
No. I'm not a fan whatsoever of the design of the anti-monitor. That dude had a scary look in the comic book. I mean, his outfit is not the kind that's so overly complex that with today's costume designers, they couldn't have done that make it look good on the show. It's basically shoulder pads, like a football player's shoulder pads, and a big helmet with a lot of teeth, glowing eyes, and deep, psychedelic, crazy-looking eyes that will draw you in to kill you. I just feel like they kind of missed the mark with just making him like the opposite of the Monitor.
Yeah, because Monitor looks like a regular guy, but it's like, just like you saw Anti-Monitor, you're like, yeah, I think there's something bad about him. It's not. It's like. I mean, you when you looked at him in the comic, you're like, yeah, I'm thinking if I see that dude, I'm seeing death. And this is not good. And that guy looks like a regular dude. And it's like, and I always joke, it's like Smallville created Doomsday for the small screen, which I think was very impressive. I don't see how you couldn't have made a mask that makes it look like the Anti-Monitor. It's like just putting in the eyes, because it's like, that's one of those things. It's like you see in the eyes, you're just like, this is not good.
Because his eyes are like really small in the dark recesses that are his eyes, and it's like, whoa, what's going on? There's this small glow.
Opposite of an iris. It's like it's a very small, just like you look like you're gonna get sucked in the wrong way, and this is not good for me.
Right. So maybe this is the first incarnation of the Anti-Monitor, and as it plays out, maybe Superman, Supergirl fights him and just destroys that original shell, and he comes back in one of the more comic book looks. I hope that's where they go. I wouldn't be shocked based on what we've seen so far with the cast and other designs. So
what did you like? I mean, because it's like, out of the new stuff you've seen, what do you like? Because I like the fact that they have Ryan Troy actually coming in. Is Adam?
That we're gonna have Adam. That Tom Cavanagh is gonna be Pariah. Lila's gonna be Harbinger, and just that they're pulling in different characters to really establish this whole thing of a multiverse. That's going to be cool. And that they really seem to acknowledge and understand, hey, we can do this. We can play around with this thing. They've got Burt Ward running around in a red flannel sweater. And it's like, hey, that's cool. That's his Robin outfit. And we don't need to see him in tights and shorts. We get the idea. And yeah, I really like what they're doing. And everything that I've heard sounds really fun and really exciting. And if they just deliver, but from everything that I'm seeing, it seems like they're actually going to deliver on it. And if they do, it's going to be the closest that we get on the DC side of things to an Avengers Endgame kind of payoff.
Okay, now I was thinking, it's like, if they look like they're treating these guys, they're coming up with good stuff. They're putting it. You put all this into one world after everything's blended out. I'm wondering if they actually land. I mean, just by the premiere of Arrow, are you as excited about this as Endgame? Because I'm even like, I've been down on Arrow. I mean, at all, but it was like, once you showed me that, it's like, wait, you guys are making Crisis a focus, and because of all of the repercussions that they're going to be after Crisis, I'm like in-game level excited.
Oh, absolutely. That is 100% where I'm at. It's funny because I've been watching the DC movies over the past few days. I watched Batman vs Superman, then I watched Suicide Squad, now I'm watching Justice League, and it's just like they could have done these movies. Like I always feel like they rush through everything. I like them, but I think they could have been done so much better if they weren't so concerned with racing to catch up to the Marvel films.
Oh, you're talking about the live action. Okay.
But where the DC TV shows have the advantage, they were able to spend time making you care about the characters, spending 22 episodes building up different things. So with the thought of them all coming together and linking into shows from the 90s, shows from the early 2000s, it's kind of like, oh, wow, you're actually going to do what you really could do with this opportunity, and they're actually taking advantage of it, which predates the Marvel Cinematic Universe in a way that people who were around back when 1989 Batman came on the big screen, they remember the hype for that movie all the way through every TV show, Lois and Clark, Superboy, etc. So now we're here with this Arrowverse, and it's like, whoa, you guys are going to acknowledge all that stuff. It's a real sense of, man, even Marvel can't compete on that level of just build up. And they're delivering on that. So I'm really excited to see what they do and where they play it out. But we can keep talking about Crisis. But I want to get Jovon back in the conversation.
Okay.
So next week, we're going to start maybe our most ambitious project on Lyle's Movie Files. And we are going to review Crisis on Infinite Earths. We're not going to do every issue each week. What we're going to do is we're going to talk about 2 issues until Crisis. So I think that gives us enough time before now and December to break it down that way. I know some of you guys have not read it. Jayce and I have, but it's going to be a nice little refresher for us because it's been a few years. And we're just going to break it down and all the cool stuff. And we're then, after the crossover, we're going to look to see all the things that they did from the crossover, from the comic, and see how it played out on the small screen. So should be a lot of fun. Jovon, you've been excited because Wednesdays are no longer a boring pedestrian night for wrestling fans. It is the apex, the night of the week if you're a wrestling fan, because we've got All Elite Wrestling Dynamite going head to head right now as we speak, and as I'm recording on my DVR, NXT versus AEW Dynamite. What have you thought so far these first 2 weeks of the Wednesday night wrestling war?
I've enjoyed it thoroughly. AWE can be a little low budget sometimes, and that's great. That's great because we don't need super polish. We don't need a big budget. What we need is entertainment, fun wrestling, and we need competition for the WWE. Mm-hmm. I would love it if in this day and age of PC-ness and not offending anyone, not upsetting anyone, if AWE took a page now.
AEW, man, you sound like that old guy.
AEW. I know, I am that old guy. I'm not even going to hide it. If AWE took a page. AWE, I keep
AEW.
Say it with me. There you go.
If AEW took a page out of the old AW, NWA, WCW, mainly the WCW Blood and Guts era of the mid-90s. Yeah. WWC. WWCF. If they took a page out of the 90s and said, look, we going hard. We're going hard. We're on cable.
What do you
have been doing blood.
What do you think? I mean, like, because they don't have those restrictions. They're TV 14, not like WWE.
They're TV 14. Yeah. But it's still kind of tame. It's still kind of tame compared to what I remember from the 90s. And I think that's probably because you could be more offensive.
No. The 90s took it, man, like, the WWE Attitude Era took it way too offensive. Like, they focused, like...
Oh, the Attitude Era was... Oh, yeah. No,
they focused on the 19... They focused on the 16 to 20-year-old male demographic to
16 to 25,
and they
man.
didn't give a crap.
They didn't. I mean, and I'm not going on them. I'm just talking about right now. I know it's TV 14, but let's up the ante here. Let's really push the envelope, not to the point of okay, we're going to do something that's going to get us canceled. I mean, it's hard. It's a hard line to blur, but I think they could do a little more. They definitely could do a little more.
2 weeks though, remember?
It has. This is week 3. It has, but I'm not talking about now. I'm talking about going forward.
Mhm.
Going forward, there is room to do a little more. Not to say that I don't want to sound like I'm nitpicking, but there's room to do more. I like what they're doing, but let's see where we can take this. Let's do something unique here and push the WWE, because that's what made that era. It's because you watch both programs at the same damn time. You remember Monday nights, dude? We had to watch Nitro and Raw. We had to see it. Had to. Because we didn't know what these jokers were going to do next.
Yeah, I don't think because WWE is a publicly traded company, I just don't. I don't see them. I mean, even though NXT is the one branded, like this isn't on Fox, it's still on USA. We still can act. I mean, we can still make this as good as we want it to be. But
they're only going to do but so much because, like you said, they're publicly traded. They're on primetime now. They're on network primetime once again, so they're only going to be willing to do so much. I just want them to push them in regards to being a better program, better wrestling, better quality, better story, better overall.
I was going to say,
I know it's not.
I always laugh
in my heart of hearts. I know it's not.
A network soap opera that is played on from 11 to 12 p.m. I mean, to 2 p.m. on network TV has more dramatic and racy storylines than wrestling. Mm-hmm. And it's like, you guys act like you can't cross this line. It's like, you see that it's not like, oh, we can't do this because it's network television. It's like, they do this on soap operas, which is really what you guys are. You get your inspiration from the soap operas. Your best stuff is actually drama with guys who aren't great actors. So,
I mean, I guess they feel like they gotta sell toys, Jayce. You know, I guess if the toy sets ain't gonna sell themselves, you know, so they gotta appeal. They gotta appeal to kids.
Well, they've done really well appealing to the family market. The problem is that hardcore audience who watched it every Monday night has left in droves, and Eric Bischoff just got sacrificed because the opening week of SmackDown the second week of SmackDown on Fridays saw a massive drop in the ratings. So somebody had to be the fall guy. It was Eric Bischoff.
That was laughable though. It's like you brought out The Rock for one night, and everybody knew he wasn't coming back the next night. Of course they were gonna drop. Like you can't even act like this isn't like, hey, we brought our A game. Tomorrow we're gonna have you. Remember that guy that The Rock beat in 2 seconds? Yeah, he's gonna be made exactly. Oh, shit. I mean, why was here?
You can't. But that's the thing. Also, you got to build your new talent. You got to have new talent to make the face of this thing. You can't just rely on guys who aren't even gonna wrestle anymore. You can't rely on the ghosts of your past. You gotta.
They have done that for too long.
I mean,
too long.
Ridiculous.
Too long.
Think about you had a dude who The Rock comes on for 1 week, and the dude beats The Rock. They'd be like, whoa, I didn't expect that. I'm just checking to see what he does next week. Because he's going to be here next week.
Yeah.
They don't get that part. They never have, and they just keep relying on this. So they keep getting these diminished returns. Hey, we brought The Rock and Stone Cold and Shawn Michaels and Hulk Hogan and Ric Flair back. And we got Sting. We got The Undertaker. And it's like, yeah.
And they're going to stand here and not do anything.
Exactly. We're going to watch Hulk Hogan shake hands with Ric Flair in the stands, and that's it. And they hyped all those guys. They hyped Sting and The Undertaker. Neither of them were there. Stone Cold wasn't there. We didn't see Shawn Michaels. I understand they had a blue carpet, but if you weren't watching that, you didn't see any of those big names they mentioned. And the show sucked. I mean, they had Kofi lose to Brock in like 9 seconds. So his title reign was over. And if you watch that show like I did, because I was like, well, let me give them a chance. Let's see what they've got. And I was like, I deleted SmackDown from my DVR recording. And it was like, delete this episode and upcoming. Yes, please. Because that sucked. I didn't care if Kofi had to lose the belt, but to have him lose in 9 seconds was stupid. And to bring out some dude who looks in worse shape than me and Cain Velasquez, I'm like, oh man, look at this dude. I'm like, who is this dude? I mean, if I'm a wrestling fan, Right. I'm a wrestling fan. I'm not paying attention to who's in UFC and MMA. And I don't care if Brock got beat by this dude. I'm watching wrestling. If I was watching MMA, like most people, I wouldn't keep watching wrestling. It's
He
stupid.
looked like he just pushed his fat ass away from the buffet at Golden Corral.
He was like, hold on. Oh, you got a little ketchup and mustard and mayonnaise on your shirt. You may as well just take it off.
No, put the
He
shirt
said,
back
look,
on.
this said, the ad said all you could eat shrimp.
Right.
I haven't had all I can eat.
Hey, dude. Hey, I still want some more. I want more shrimp. Like, get out of here, man. Like, what you got? Because Brock ain't in shape either. It's like, man, find these dudes some steroids so they can at least look the part. Because
Brock is a solid C cup right now. Solid C cup right now.
Hovering in that D. He's starting to look at the D's like, well, not yet. Not yet. I can still close this thing.
Oh my God, Brock is a few hundred beers away. That's the thing about it, man. I just can't understand. I understood it then, but nearly 20 years later, I don't understand the mystique of Brock Lesnar. Let's let it go. Let's let it go.
No, let's say this. Early Brock Lesnar, when he was
early Brock, yes,
he was great. And then
when he came back, he was a beast. It's all of a sudden, you mean I don't have to show up every night and they'll just keep throwing the belt on me? Shoot.
Yeah, steak sandwich.
Right.
Let
me get three.
Sandwich.
Let me get three of those, please.
I know we got catering.
Hey, what are you eating?
But it's like go to the local gym, Brock. Like, I mean, I know I'm in no shape to be talking right now. But it's like
if they were paying $1 million to not work out, and I could still be the featured dude and not have to show up every week, I wouldn't work out either. I don't blame Brock. He's the smartest.
I would come out there like Kamala too.
But here's
the thing. He is Kamala too. He just didn't have the sun and the moon and the stars painted on his chest.
I mean, but the funny thing is, supposedly Vince McMahon was upset with how Cain Velasquez looks like. I saw this dude with a shirt off for last week. I know I was good. Like, I don't need to. It's like, this isn't like the Ultimate Warrior. If I got to go against the Ultimate Warrior, yeah, I'm going to make sure I'm in shape. But I seen Brock like 2 weeks ago, man.
I know, dude. Brock ain't in shape. And if you're paying that dude, you toss the belt on him in 9 seconds, I'm good. Where's my motivation? You want me? You want me to go in front of these Saudi dudes who are going to throw you a buttload of money? I'm good.
And you know, here's the thing also with that. If your wrestlers are going to be, if the guys you actually have are going to be, they're not totally up to snuff, they're not technically sound, they're not good wrestlers, and also they're kind of fat, at least have guys with good mic skills. That's something that the WWE has been missing since CM Punk left. You don't have but maybe, in my opinion, 3 guys.
Wait a second, Jovon. Seth Rollins is really good at talking about the generic scripts that they give him every week.
Hey,
my God.
Seth Rollins memorizes scripts better than anybody else.
He does, clearly.
Yes,
clearly
he does. Yes, he knows his lines.
It's like him and Roman. I mean, again, as I said this like a while back. If you heard Roman Reigns talk without a script,
oh God,
he was great. He
sounds like a person.
Yeah, it was just like, yo, it was like if this dude say, hey man, I'm trying to make a living for my kids. I ain't got time for this bullshit. You would be like, oh, this is a dude I can get behind. But hey, I gotta make sure he's
cool, like literally cool.
When you hear Romans, I have to read or deliver these lines of dialogue.
That's because Roman knows
predetermined for me.
Yeah.
It's like, hey,
none of these dudes look by.
I'm gonna Superman punch you, and then it's gonna be on.
It's gonna be on.
What's the catchphrase they need me to say? Oh yeah, it's like, oh wait, when Becky Lynch was like, kind of, hey, I need to figure out how to get over, so I'm not gonna read these scripts perfectly.
Yeah,
I get over. Now, hey, Becky, since you're now the face of us, we're gonna need you to remember these scripts a little better. Sure, boss. Oh wait.
The problem is they just take everybody. Like Vince McMahon is the dumbest billionaire because he doesn't learn lessons. When he put the belt on Diesel, everybody was like, "Oh, Diesel is cool. He's the man." And immediately he was like, "All right, all the stuff that made people like you is Diesel. We're gonna scrap that." We're just going to scrub all that away. We're going to make you a smiley, hey, kids, how's everybody doing today? It's Big Daddy Cool. And then...
It worked for Hulk Hogan.
Right.
How much of that is his ego? How much of that is Vince's own ego?
100%. That's what these shows are. But we've been talking about the Wednesday Night Wars because I don't want to detract from the greatness that is the one solitary thing that Vince McMahon is not tainted.
Yeah.
NXT. And that promotion is so good because it actually doesn't sound or look like robotic land that is Raw and SmackDown. The guys wrestle. They have good promos. And their matches are actually really, really good.
And some of these guys are funny.
Yeah, dude. Like, I love Undisputed Era.
And Undisputed is awesome. Like, they actually have people who get it. They get, on this program, they get it. I love the fact that it's, and this is what I love the most about it. It's low budget.
It's not even low budget. It's just not that overly glitzy and glammy thing that they've done.
No, that's what I mean. Yeah. That's what I mean. It's not that over the top, because when you have all of that bells and whistles, it's like when you got an artist like Britney Spears and she has 27 dancers behind us and the track is turned up to 1,000 when she's performing. It's to mask from the fact that the product that you're getting is not very good.
What are you talking about?
I'm sorry.
You stop that right there.
You
stop it. What am I?
I'm okay with Britney Spears. Like, come on, man, come on.
Are you really okay with 40-year-old Britney Spears gyrating that hip replacement around in your face? Are you really?
Yes.
Jovon, I don't know who's going to be listening to this, so I'm going to have to put this very delicate. I enjoy her performance.
I enjoy her performances. These views do not represent LionsMovieFiles.com.
or its respective parties and sponsors.
Or respective parties and sponsors. No, honestly though, all that is to say, all of those things try to distract you from the fact that we ain't got much going on here.
Right.
You know, with NXT, it's like, look, we don't have that to rely on, so we're giving you everything, and it's a fun watch. It really is fun to watch this show.
Mm-hmm.
That's why this is right now. This is the future. They need to go ahead and stop with the nonsense at the main show, Raw and SmackDown, and say, hey, this is where the talent is and lies.
That's the show that Triple H is producing.
Yeah, and it shows. It shows.
Here's the thing: it's like, you got a bunch of guys who, if they're making jokes, it's because everybody finds them funny, not the 70-year-old billionaire who thought it was hilarious, and everybody else is in on the joke. It's like, dude, like, if how about you not be in this room and then somebody else tells a joke? When you hear the crickets, that means it's not funny to anybody else anymore. It's just, that's the problem. I mean, it's just like, it's like, because I was listening to like some of the guys who were in AEW, and they were talking about, like, man, I'd say something, and then Vince McMahon would like take the dumbest thing, and then he'd try and run with it, and because he thought it was funny, and it's been done like that for years, and that's why I say most of us stopped watching wrestling. Like, I mean, like I said, my barber literally watched that first SmackDown show, and he's like, yeah, this is not what wrestling's like. Where's the dude hitting that good promo to make you want to watch the next show? It's like, where's the, I mean, you guys are doing all this athletic stuff to kill yourself, but it's like, it's really the drama that actually brings us back way more than the actual action. And that's what, that's what NXT was. It was like, yo, even though everybody's not perfectly WWE polished, it was like, yo, this is the guys from New Japan, this is the guys from ROH, this is the guys from TNA. They're hitting different kind of promos, and you're like, yeah, I do want to see this dream match. Why yes, just basically put it on and I'll watch it.
Yep.
So yeah, hey guys,
AEW's been good. Yeah.
Not to shift gears, but have either of you been watching The Purge on USA?
Oh, I didn't mean to put that on the DVR.
Dude, it's legit.
What day does it come on?
It's better than movies. The premiere, they've been changing. Well, they changed it the day. I usually catch it the day after, but it is it Thursday night?
Okay.
Yeah, I need to record that because those commercials had me invested, and I was like, yeah, okay. And who's the black lead on that?
It's Tuesday night. I'm sorry, y'all. It's Tuesday night. I usually catch it on Thursday when they do the replay. Derek Luke. Remember Derek Luke?
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
sir. Yeah. He was
Yeah.
good. He was one of those dudes that was like,
He's good
man,
at this.
yeah, but he was one of those cats that was like, he's good. He should have steady work. And it looks
Yeah.
like this show is giving him steady work. And Max
I don't.
Martini's in it too.
Max Martini's in
And
it too.
Rochelle
Um,
Aetas is in it.
yeah. And what's interesting about this show? I'm sorry, the big segue, y'all. Is it doesn't just focus on Purge night. It's the days before last season, the days after. What happens? The aftermath of the purge. It's really good. It's really good. Well done show.
Yep. Cool. I'm going to watch it because I was intrigued. I always thought The Purge is a cool concept for whatever reason. And you got a black lead for
It
me?
is.
I'm there.
I'm there.
That's what
Jeff,
I
I'm
like to
sorry.
see. It's all good.
One
Nah,
more
we're going to keep
thing.
moving here because, yeah, I want to talk about some other stuff too.
Okay.
But yeah, keep watching Wednesday Night Wars. We'll keep talking about them because, yeah,
Definitely.
you didn't see that Private Party versus Young Bucks match from last week. That was really
Yeah.
good.
Gotta watch
And it was a nice surprise too.
Oh yeah, I saw that. I'm like, oh, okay.
And it was so smart. I was like, thank you. Because I was like, the
Yes.
Young Bucks are going to win this thing because they're going to win the whole tournament. It's like, they actually got upset. I was like, man.
in the first round. It's like,
one
No spoilers. No spoilers.
decision. Oh, man, that was last week. You've seen it, yeah?
It was last week. I've seen it, but I'm
Yeah.
for the folks who may not have.
Look, it's wrestling.
We don't care. Go watch it again.
Spoilers on wrestling are fair game.
yeah.
Yeah,
If
exactly.
you want to
And
watch it, you watch it.
And the other good thing is, like, when you hear of the spoiler like that, you're like, really?
I gotta
Like,
see it now.
I do it. It's like, wait, that was like, if you heard The Rock got his tail beat by The Fiend, you're like,
I gotta see it.
I do want to see how The Fiend beats Rock. Yeah, I would like to see that. But
yeah, dude, I
You
was
wanna-
like, oh, wow. It was
You
one of
tell
those
me
things
husky
I was
hair.
watching, and I'm like, man, Private Party's really giving them a good match. And they look good, but I know they're going to lose, and I wonder what they're going to do with them afterwards. But when they actually won, I was like, oh, shoot. That was the smartest thing they could have done. Because the Young Bucks don't have to win this tournament to win the titles. But for those dudes winning against the Young Bucks, that makes them for so long. And they could go on to win a freaking tournament. And it's like, hey, look at the Cinderella story. They've gone all this way, and now they're the champions. And then the Young Bucks are like, hey, we want that rematch because y'all beat us by a fluke. It's just common sense booking that the WWE just uses to do.
Does not get.
And also, here's the other
'cause
thing. Even if they don't win the titles, it's like, say they go off into independence after this, like, yeah, we beat the Young Bucks on national TV. Like,
oh no, their Private Party's locked up now. They're all
Well,
there. Yeah.
I'm saying,
Somebody tell me one thing though. Why do these fans continue to dog Bray Wyatt with Husky Harris chants?
that was his first gimmick.
It was, but come on,
But,
guys.
see, you know what?
Let
No,
him live.
No, you know what? If this is a matter of booking, you can change the person. I mean, like, Goldberg wasn't undefeated until he was Goldberg.
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
I mean, it was like, you got to change the perceptions. Like, you change him into the Fiend, but you have him beating the hell out of Seth Rollins in Hell in a Cell, and they stopped the match because he was just so brutal. Yeah, that's you might not.
Seth Rollins was the one that got DQ'd.
I know. That's what I'm saying. That's a matter of booking. Like, who the hell thought that was a good idea? Like,
man.
Again, the 7-year-old out of touch guy, like, hey, well, I can't have Seth Rollins, I can't have the Fiend go on Today's Show and talk to John Cena. Well,
but couldn't you?
Because he literally has like the Mr. Rogers persona. He literally could just go and do that. But I mean, just when you want to actually do the outreach, yeah, change the title to somebody safe. You put it on Charlotte, but then the next week you have her get beat by evil Bailey. It's like, okay, that was kind of unexpected. But you could have also just had Bailey win, which also would have been unexpected.
And why do that? All right, let's keep it moving here. So Matrix 4 is happening. I'm not sure if anyone is more excited about Avatar 2 or The Matrix 4. Are you guys looking forward to Matrix 4? Because I'm just not.
I feel like this. By the time we get there, if the cast of The Matrix 4 is going to be the returning cast from the Matrix series that we know, our protagonist is going to be nearly 60 years old, and I don't want to see 60-year-old Keanu, even though he'll look like 48-year-old Keanu.
Right, I'm going to say
Right.
he's not going to look that old. But
No, he's
yeah,
not.
Carrie Ann Moss on the other hand, she may look
She'll look 70 when it's time. Yeah.
Well, hey, no. When she was Jerry
Another-
Hogarth did not look bad. Like,
Okay, that's
But
true. But she wasn't
that's true.
fighting either.
But we'll see Jada Pinkett's butchered face. We
I will
got
say this-
Doogie Howser.
Right.
like that's the big. I mean, to me, it's like the big casting of Doogie Howe. I mean, Neil Patrick is like. So, I mean, like you tell me the dude. You tell me the guy who's the kid who magically didn't need Neo to help him get out of the Matrix. Like, you should be telling me how you're telling me that story. Because in Animatrix, that was like, oh wow, that's gonna be the start of the new Matrix, right? Nah. Okay. So we're gonna have maybe a young Morpheus. What?
Yeah.
The thing
If
is,
Lawrence Fishburne isn't involved, I'm really not interested.
Yeah, I think that's my thing. It's like you can't tell me a reason that Lawrence Fishburne isn't in this movie because I mean, it's like he actually the other two died. He actually survived.
He actually survived.
The rest of me, like Trinity's flambéed. Like no, there really doesn't actually make sense to bring her back. Like, and,
Yeah,
I mean,
the
Neo,
second time
sure. Like Neo, yeah, he's a computer program. Like yeah, sure, whatever. But
I get it with Neo, but with Trinity, she died
Twice.
Twice. If Morpheus isn't back, but you're bringing back Jada Pinkett's butchered face.
You're really not a fan
I
of
was
her
saying, wait a
butchered
minute,
face.
she looks very nice on her little sitcom talking show.
Oh, she does. Maybe I've been looking at it from the wrong angle. I need better lighting. No, look, I'm sorry. Jada Pinkett's probably a lovely woman. I'm pretty sure. No, what you could replace. She's one of those characters. I'm not going on a Jada Pinkett hate raid here. It's just she's one of those easily replaced characters. She really is.
Remember, she was supposed to be Aaliyah.
She was a replacement for Aaliyah. You know.
So,
well, you know the cast member I'm really hoping they bring back?
here it comes.
Ghost.
Roy Jones Jr.
What are you going to do about it?
You know what? You read my mind. You read my mind.
Now, do you bring back? Do you think they bring back Hugo?
You know, a real problem with those movies, when you watch them in context of like 2019, there's a little bit of try hard to be cool in them. Where
too much.
It's really cool, right. But second and third, it's like
because it's not trying.
We're cool.
Well,
Look at us.
The second
cool.
one,
everybody's wearing sunglasses. We're so cool.
The second one, that's where everybody's wearing sunglasses. The stylized cell phone reveals. It's like, look, I get it. We got money. We got tie-ins now. But you guys really ruined a good thing here with this. It's really absurd now. The General Motors, like it felt like the middle of that movie was 45 minutes of a General Motors commercial.
Like how many GM commercials can take this gunshot and somehow nobody's leg is bleeding all over the seat?
See how tough our vehicles are?
Somebody can rip the hood off and this thing still keeps going.
Keeps on trucking. Oh boy. So yeah.
I mean, I want to say I'm looking forward to the Matrix the same way I wanted to say I'm looking forward to Terminator, but I just don't care because I don't think they're going to do anything new that I don't think they're going to do anything that's going to make us say we have to see these movies. And I'm looking at the Terminator, not to segue to Terminator, but I'm doing it. To segue to the Terminator, it's like, dude, I don't care. I don't care about 90-year-old Linda Hamilton. I don't care about 113-year-old I don't care about 142-year-old Arnold Schwarzenegger. I don't care that you got a new. You thought we had the Terminator game on lock. Wait till you see this dude. It's like I don't care.
Dude, I did watch that trailer. Was like, this is not working. I don't care. I mean, the best Terminator was T-1000.
Yeah,
that's
it. Everyone else has been T-1000. It's like even the girl one was T-1000 but had weapons. It's like. So
T-1000 with
boobs.
weapons, y'all.
No, with boobs. It's like, man, come on. But he was so cold. It was like, you can't get any better than this. And they've done nothing. It's like, oh, wow, what an upgrade. Nope.
What an upgrade.
What were you going to say?
No,
Like,
except
you had
for
liquid.
this time the Terminator looks like an accountant.
This time the Terminator is black when he changes into liquid metal. It's like, dude, you got nothing.
Yeah, it's like, like, you guys James Cameron made the pinnacle of Terminators. It was a liquid metal that could do anything, replicate anybody.
Right.
It was like,
still
you
haven't
guys
come up with
can't.
anything better.
No, it's like, you guys are supposed to be such advanced, like, the T-1000 who made, Rise of the Machines. It's like, you guys did everything. What else? What are you guys retreading on this? I don't get it.
Jayce. Robert Patrick did yeoman's work being the T-1000 because he only had a few lines of dialogue. It was the stoic nature of his face.
Exactly. His expression.
Man, when he was running,
just
cold, look like,
killing machine.
Cold.
Coming for
killing
you.
machine.
Yeah.
He nailed that. Look, playing the Terminator in these movies has to be a hard task because I think, and that's the thing that every one of these movies has suffered from since T2. They're trying to replicate, the Terminators at least, are trying to replicate what Robert Patrick did.
Yep.
Play this stoic killing machine.
Yeah, because he actually acted, but Arnold was just, okay, don't do anything. Great, okay. Robert Patrick was like, okay, I can do some stuff with that. And he acted. But all these other Jokers, it's just like, y'all aren't doing anything different or cooler than Robert Patrick.
Yeah, and I don't care how many gimmicks you give the Terminators. They're not interesting. It's nothing that makes you say, "Oh my God, I'd be terrified of this thing." No,
like the guy who played Robbie Reyes on Ghost Rider, he's the Terminator. It's like, yeah, but he was actually. I can already tell you, he's going to be cooler as Ghost Rider than he was in this movie. It's like, there's nothing he can do. It's like, what is he going to do? Like, unless he has a flaming skull, it's like he's just not going to be cooler as a liquid metal killing machine that Robert Pattinson had already played.
Yo, but if his skull turns red and he fights the whole time like that, I'm on it.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I think the only way that they could have saved this thing and made it worth watching is if they would have gone another name as the Terminator, as the killing machine Terminator. And that would have been, in my opinion, jacked up Tom Hardy. Because that way it gives you, to me, jacked up Tom Hardy and maybe even The Rock.
Nope, because people would root for The Rock to kill him.
Right. You need somebody to root for him to die. Like,
okay.
And I would 100% be rooting for The Rock in every instance of him fighting somebody.
Okay,
like,
so
you get like one of those like old. You get like one of these like new age bodybuilders, like completely jacked up, looking like they will throw you through like the top of your roof.
They could just do the Mountain from Game of Thrones.
Oh yeah.
But like, again, that is a story and a gimmick that's been played, and no matter them putting produced by James Cameron, I'm not biting. I don't.
Okay, now I gotta ask another question: is this a trilogy or is this just the quest for more money? I'm not figuring it out.
Yeah. It's the quest for gold. That's what it is. The quest for Curly's gold.
Like, and that's my same thing with the Matrix. Is like, are we doing a sequel or are we just doing another Matrix movie? Like,
listen, after I watch Cloud Atlas, I don't trust Lana Wachowski with anything.
Again,
you couldn't direct one of these KFC commercials right now.
Maybe
that much, because those really commercials are so bad.
Because I'm one of those people. I like what was it? Speed Racer.
Speed Racer was good.
Yeah.
I said Cloud Atlas.
Yeah,
I deliberately did not mention Speed Racer.
Yeah.
Speed Racer was what a Speed Racer movie should be. Cloud Atlas was not what a movie should be.
Hey, didn't they do that one with what was it? Something ascending with
Jupiter Ascending? That was
Jupiter. Didn't they do that?
Man.
Yeah. Didn't they do that?
I should say Cloud Atlas and Jupiter. Gosh, that was terrible.
They did that, right? I'm not pulling that out of the sky.
Yeah.
Oh,
it was. It was brutally bad, and almost pulled a what is that joint on like
Razzie?
a Norbit on Eddie Redmayne's Oscar campaign. It was trash. Woo! We should watch that on a bad movie night. 'Cause
Nah.
Yes,
that
we
movie
should.
deserves popcorn thrown to the screen. All right,
Look,
let's move on.
Okay.
It's a bad movie. We should watch
No,
it.
it's a bad movie.
All right, so now I want to do something a little bit different. So I have this quote for you guys from one Jennifer Aniston, who has had a busy week because she's, gone on Instagram finally, posted some pictures with her and the Friends gang. That was cool. But then she mentioned her take on this whole Martin Scorsese, judge of all things cinema. He was like, "These Marvel movies aren't cinema," and continued to yell at the clouds.
Get off my lawn.
And so Jennifer said, it wasn't until the last couple of years when these streaming services were just sort of exploding with this amount of quality that I actually started to think, wow, that's better than what I just did. And then you're seeing what's available out there, and it's just diminishing in terms of it's big Marvel movies or things that I'm just not asked to do or really that interested in living in a green screen. So basically, Jennifer's like, yeah, I'm on Team Scorsese. I cannot wait to get put into one of his films because I am such an amazing, superior actress. So, fellas, with that said, I figured why the heck not? Let's do a best and worst of Jennifer Aniston, the Academy Award nominee, Jennifer Aniston. So,
Don't you
let's do it.
Hey, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Are we really gonna have to try to sort through her boneyard to find something worth mentioning?
Hey, dude, this is so easy. I don't know what you're talking about. This is ridiculously easy. I'll go first just to prove how easy it is. Just how easy it is. All right, 3 best, Jennifer Aniston.
Okay.
Horrible Bosses, number 1.
Yes.
Number 2, We're the Millers.
Yep.
And let's see, for number 3, Horrible Bosses 2. Bam. Or if you want to be like, hey, you can't do Horrible Bosses, I'll go Office Space. You know that movie she was starring and had the lead role in? Yeah, that one. So,
Jeff, no. I'm going to stop you right now.
Oh,
that was literally my list. I literally have We're the Millers, Horrible Bosses, and Office Space. That's it.
I didn't even find We're the Millers funny. It was a couple of gags, and that was it.
Man. Okay.
It was a couple of gags.
So, for my worst of list with her, that's also easy. Along Came Polly. Yes. Bruce Almighty. No. And listen, because there's so many other options. The Bounty Hunter, where Gerard Butler was like, let me expand from being the 300 shirtless dude. I'll be in a romance movie. And it failed. Nobody wanted in on that hunt.
Jeff.
Those are my 3. So, bam. What you got, fella?
Jeff, I'm sure. Don't you have Mother's Day on that list? Because I remember you said you hated that movie.
Hey, man, you feel free.
Go ahead, Jovon, because I'm allowed to retreads on this.
Okay, best of Jennifer Aniston. Friends.
No.
Friends
Movie,
DVD Friends. Friends DVD commentary. The Revlon commercial she did like back in 2007 because I thought it was pretty funny. And she did a cameo in South Park. I remember like some years and years ago. For honorable mention, Office Space, because that wasn't her movie. As far as her worst, let's do a career retrospective. If you could do every movie that she's been in, going back to Leprechaun to now, this latest turd that she did with Adam Sandler, I think you could sum up Jennifer Aniston's career.
Wait a minute.
Stop right there, sir.
Okay.
Murder Mystery was good.
And she was in the Ferris Bueller TV show. Hello?
Oh, okay. That was so great that I don't even remember that.
How many episodes of that did you watch?
Right.
Not all 13. But I will not have you besmirch the good name of Leprechaun, sir.
Yeah, I mean, Jennifer Aniston's American Sweetheart time has been long over. I never saw what the big deal was there. So yeah, fall on your sword, Jennifer. Yeah, because you've made so many classic contributions to cinema. Yeah, go away.
Hey, dude, maybe she just needs to be in front of a green screen. That way you can appreciate her talent.
There you go.
Hey, honestly, I think she's a little mad that role that Angelina Jolie got, which she was up for, but Brad Pitt made a call and she couldn't get it.
More than a call.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, so she's going to be on the morning show with Reese Witherspoon. It's going to be one of the prime featured shows on Apple, their TV, whatever they're doing on
Okay,
Apple TV.
who's going to buy Apple TV for that show?
Hey, dude,
No one.
I'm going to buy it right after my Disney Plus subscription runs out in 3 years.
Hey, Jeff, I think it'll just automatically renew itself.
Oh.
Oh, shucks.
Funny how that works out. Okay. Oh, well. Yeah. So, I guess that's it, huh? So, fellas, it's that magical time of the week. What's your nominees for Dummies of the Week?
Fat Chris Jericho for doing a half-ass Sting impersonation right now.
Hey, man, this is his New Japan look. I give him this. All right.
Hey, this is his new Benny Hanna look, Jayce. He look like he just backed away from the sushi bar. You fat man.
Hey, Chris Jericho's 53 years old, man.
Yeah, let me stop. I only hope I look that good and full at 53. I only hope I look that good. Seriously. I'm sorry, he's not my dummy of the week. I mean, he's not my dummy of the week. Please go ahead. Somebody.
Okay. Jayce, what you got?
I got one. So, my dummy of the week is A$AP Rocky. A$AP Rocky, after his nice time in Sweden in jail, has had some time to reflect on his life. Decided to do a sit-down interview with Angie Martinez, and then he had to finally come to terms with something he's been holding in for a long time: that he's a sex addict, and because he's a sex addict, he's bought himself a $100,000 bed because of all the orgies he's had. Because he's been, having orgies since he was a 13-year-old kid. Now, the reason why I'm calling Mr. A$AP Rocky the Dummy of the Week, because Mr. Dummy of the Week, there ain't no way in hell you ain't caught at least a couple of things that they have a whole lot of penicillin, and for if you having that many orgies with that many girls that you need to be having a $100,000 bed. So chances are that young man is his crab game is going to run out real soon, and hopefully he gets to keep all his bits and pieces. So that is my dummy of the week.
All right, Jovon, what you got?
Everybody wants to knock down Gina Rodriguez for her usage of the dreaded N-word.
Dun dun dun.
Dun dun, the N-word. It's like, look, Gina Rodriguez is some sort of swarthy brown. She's what, Puerto Rican?
Swarthy brown.
Here we go.
I'm going to have to fire your scripter there, Jovon.
Let's get into the stew. I know this ain't making the final cuts. I know it ain't making the final cuts. But look, are we going to knock her down for using the N-word the same way we tear down Cardi B or Joel Ortiz or Fat Joe for using the N-word? And by the way, can we stop saying N-word? Come on. We're not on a school playground. I just miss when language was language and, we were adults about things. I hate now that everybody's triggered.
Listen,
I'm sorry,
it's a word that you don't like. Then stop saying it. Oh, we
stop saying it.
It's like don't say this is reclaimed Earth shit. Like no, it's like no. If you don't want to use it, stop saying it. It's like
stop saying it.
It's like because I'm saying like your favorite 2000 rap song, which she was probably the one she was singing. You say the exact same thing. You don't say blank word. Like
yeah.
Come on.
Yeah. So let's cut the nonsense here. She said it, big deal, not for nothing. Are we gonna jump down Lauryn Hill's neck or whoever said it in the Fuji song that she was singing because not for nothing they're all Haitians? They aren't true N-words by definition. It's like, let's shut the hell up, man. Please, let's really shut the hell up.
Oh, did you see like the comments? Like, oh my gosh, I'm so disappointed. I'm like, I bet you if I look through your iPad right now, you'll have those same songs.
Let me tell you something. For everybody, we're in an era now where everybody throws a stone and hides their hand. because we're all woke, we're all sensitive, we're all in tone and tuned, and we know everything, and we're uber sensitive to everyone's plight, everyone's causes, but we're also completely full of shit. You
Mm-hmm.
know, I would hate to go through your history and find out what you've said derogatory about someone. Let's go back to 2011 and see some of the things that you said. Let's go back to 2008 and see some of the things you said.
I'm sorry if I offended anyone.
I'm sorry.
a better
Yeah,
working. I'm working to be a better person.
Wow,
I'm a work in progress.
Your publicist can't write this for you. Nope.
Look, my disclaimer would be: I am a pig. I am a man now of a certain era. Albeit, I respect everyone's right to live. I respect blacks, Jews, gays, whites, everybody under the sun. I have a certain feeling about things, and I'm not going to hide it because I'm a human being, and I'm not trying to be your personal Lord and Savior. I'm not trying to be Mr. Politically Correct. I have an opinion. So if you can't deal with that opinion, go fuck yourself. I'm not going to apologize.
Yeah, it's kind of, it is laughable. It's like this, instead of, I mean, like, I can understand Gina Rodriguez, like, oh, I shouldn't have recorded myself say that, but you know, just like most deaths said, hey, they'll say it when they're away with the close friends. It's like, yeah. People, it's like when this song is in the car, yes. It's like, yes, like, but it's like, hey, I slipped up, my bad. Like, I don't want to say, oh, I apologize. Oh my gosh, this is the worst thing I've ever done. I'm like, I'm sure it is. It's like,
look, Jayce, I have a thing where I call, and to our white viewers, and Jeff, you may censor this, so I'm going to give some little leeway music.
I mean, here's the other thing.
Jayce, what were you saying?
No, I mean, my thing is, it's like, people are really too afraid to offend somebody. It's like, hey, I did it. I made it bad. Like, I mean, you're not going to cancel me because you're not. I don't care if you do cancel me. It's like, I said, it's like, if I put as I always say, if you put a bug in everybody's car when they're driving to work, I will catch you saying every damn thing you say. Oh my gosh, I don't believe you said that. I said it all. It's like, I will use words that I don't even mean in my heart just to be mad at somebody.
I will use descriptions of people. If you cut me off and you happen to be of a certain ethnicity, you could be black. And you are going to be a lot of things you don't want to be.
Yes.
Hey, look. It's what it is. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's like when I mean, there's certain stuff you should get genuinely offended by. It's like, if somebody follows the lyrics to a song, don't get offended by it. I mean, it's just like, because I really just look at some of these comments, I'm just like, really? It's like, if somebody docks you right now, I'm pretty sure you said everything, and they'd be like, oh gosh, I hate those white people, ha 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 ha. Oh, I apologize for my insensitive thoughts about the people I just offended.
I apologize.
Is that what I need to say?
Awesome. I'm a work in progress.
I am a human, and my therapist has told me I need to work and be better as a person. And I shall strive to not offend anyone else but those who may have been offended by my statements.
Canned apology for my offensive language. Please don't take away my ability to make a living.
Please. All right, I'm going to go with mine real fast here.
Right.
My nominees for Dummy of the Week are the management of the Los Angeles Rams, because they are under the impression that getting a cornerback helps their offensive line woes, and they don't need a draft pick until 2010 anyway. I mean,
why would we want to draft in the first
They don't need a draft pick until 2030. It's fine.
They just
we can draft
all in
later. Dude, that's not going all in. Their defense has been not great. Yeah, and their offense has been worse because Todd Gurley realized, hey, I need two knees to run. And it's just not going to happen for him. As an Niners fan, I'm perfectly fine watching him.
You should be fine with this.
Yeah, man. I'm like, okay. One
They
cornerback,
should be
one
your hero.
receiver is going to get shut down twice a season, but they're not going to win a lot of games because he can't play offense too.
Well, Jeff, to to add on to this, and we got to have a sports day, guys. We really do, because we hit these buttons and we only do them briefly. I think we could really, we should do one of these once a month at least, and I think it would be really good because we all know our sports and we all have a good time with this. But to that point, the Rams have a window. The Rams remind me of the Sacramento Kings of 02-05. 02 to 05.
I'd be like the Minnesota Vikings. The Minnesota Vikings to win 15-1.
Yeah, but their window was brief because they knew only thing holding Randall Cunningham together was that nobody had saw this offense with Randy Moss, Jake Reed, and Chris Carter, and Robert Smith. Robert Smith retired within a year after that.
Mm-hmm.
And everything, Randall only got older. They lost some offensive line pieces. So their window was really quick. Their window was shorter than we like to admit. But with the Rams, with what they have, they got a 2-3 year window to get this thing right now. And they have to strike while the iron's hot.
The worst
and
thing
they're doing it in the
Super Bowl.
Making the Super Bowl. But the thing
is,
lost
to the Saints, they'd have been like, okay, we just have to be a little patient. We'll make a few moves.
That's it.
But because
make smart moves.
They're like, we were in the Super Bowl last year. We can go right back.
Yeah. We got to get back. We got to get back. But see, Jeff, you got to remember, too, this is L.A. This is an L.A. team now. They're not the St. Louis Rams no more. They're L.A. So they're going to go about it the L.A. way. Spend all the money, get all the big names. They're going to do it the L.A. way. And they're going to go about it the wrong way. And what's going to happen within the next 3 seasons, they're going to have a mass exodus of players and talent. And they're going to be back to square one in a brand new building with no superstars to carry the load. With no superstars.
I like the sound of that, Jovon.
I know you do. We've seen this before.
We've seen it with my team.
Yeah.
So, thank you, LA Rams management. I appreciate y'all. And I appreciate you guys for rolling with me on this episode. I appreciate y'all out there for listening, because this episode of Lyle's Movie Files has been filed.